I want you to think about some goal you want, and I want you to dramatically increase the goal. I have found that most people fail in life not because they aim too high and miss. No, most people fail in life because they aim too low and hit. I've been speaking for 20 years. I should have been speaking for 34 years. But because I didn't believe in myself for 14 years, I didn't do what I'm doing right now. I thought about what I wanted to do when I saw the late Dr. Norman Vincent Peale, who wrote The Power of Positive Thinking. You have something special. You have greatness within you. Don't allow your circumstances or your conditions to determine who you are. You have something special. You can do more than you can ever begin to imagine. I want you to think about the goals that you'd like to achieve, the things that you'd like to do, the difference you'd like to make. I want you to envision them, and let us say together with conviction, as we begin to soar to new heights, let us say together, it's possible. Together, please. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, that's one of the most important steps in achieving your goals. That's one of the most important steps in soaring to new heights, to believing that it was possible. For 14 years, I thought about speaking. My heart said, I can do that. But my mind said, how? Never ask how. How is none of your business. My favorite book says, lean not unto thine own understanding, and all thy ways acknowledge him, and he shall direct thy path. How is none of your business. Do what you need to do. Walk by faith and not by sight. How many ever thought about doing something and you convince yourself you couldn't do it? Raise your hands, please. If you thought about doing something and you convinced yourself you couldn't do it. Repeat after me, please. Live full. Die empty. Dr. Howard Thurman, who was a Mahatma Gandhi mentor and advisor to Albert Schweitzer and Dr. Martin Luther King Jr., was a very wise man. He wrote, deep is the hunger, the voice of the genuine, the centering moment. During the time when I was reflecting on my life after I'd been released by 4 different hospitals, I was reading his words. This man was a brilliant writer, and he wrote something that really grabbed me. He said, the ideal situation for a man or woman to die is to have family members praying with them as they cross over. He said, but imagine, if you will, being on your deathbed and standing around your bed, the ghost of the dreams, the ideas, the abilities, the talents given to you by life, and that you, for whatever reason, you never pursued those dreams. You never did anything with those ideas. We never heard from your leadership. We never heard your voice. You never wrote that book. You never made your impact. And there they are standing around looking at you with large angry eyes saying, we came to you, and only you could have given us life. And now we must die with you forever. And the question is, if you die today, what dreams, what ideas, what talents, what voice, what books, what music will die with you? Perhaps that's why the poet wrote the words that many a flower has bloomed unceasingly and wasted sweetness upon the cold desert air. Perhaps that's why someone wrote the words, what if you live your whole life only to discover that it was wrong? That it was wrong. Maybe that's why Jim Rohn said, when the end comes for you, let it find you conquering a new mountain, not sliding down an old one. Maybe that's why Henry David Thoreau said, oh God, to reach the point of death, only to realize that you've never lived, only to realize that you've never scraped the surface of your potential. Repeat after me again, please. Live full, die empty. Ladies and gentlemen, for 14 years I was suffering from possibility blindness. For 14 years, I believed the things that had been said about me. When I was in the 5th grade, I'll never forget when they came in and they put me and several other children back in 4th grade from the 5th grade. And I'll never forget a turning point in my life. A man came in the room. He was a substitute teacher, and he was an inspirator. He was a guy that was known for encouraging people. And Mark, he was a guy that everybody listened to. And he came in the room and said, young man, go to the board and work this problem out for me. I said, oh, sir, I can't do that. He said, why not? I said, I'm not one of your students. He said, look at me. Yes, sir, go to the board and work the problem out anyhow. I said, I can't, sir. He said, why not? I said, I'm in special education, sir. I'm educable, mentally retarded. And the other student said, he's the twin, Les Brown, DT. That's not Wesley. His twin brother's the smart one. He's the dumb one. DT stands for the dumb twin. And as they were laughing at me, he came from behind his desk. He looked at me. He said, don't you ever say that again. Someone's opinion of you does not have to become your reality. On one hand, I was humiliated. But on the other hand, I was liberated because he looked at me with the eyes of Goethe. He said, look at a man the way that he is, he only becomes worse. But look at him as if he were what he could be, then he becomes what he should be. So as you look at yourself, as you look into the future, you are the beneficiaries of the past. You are the trustees of the present. And you are the architects of the future to take us to new heights.